My Lord and my God, I firmly believe that you are here, that you see me, that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask you for pardon of my sins and grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me. Blessed are you, Father, Lord of heaven and earth, that you have revealed to little ones the mysteries of the kingdom. This is the gospel acclamation in today's Mass. The mysteries of the kingdom revealed to the little ones, to children. And I wonder, Jesus, why would you want to reveal the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven to children? Sometimes people think that children are nothing but a nuisance. Well, actually, I don't subscribe to that, but because they make a lot of noise and it's a nuisance. Just get rid of them. It's almost a feeling that the disciples in today's gospel express, because people were bringing little children to you, Jesus, so that you might lay your hands on them and pray over them, bless them. And the people, the parents, brought children of different ages, and I suppose that there were some that were very young and others that were running around and making a little bit of noise, screaming, ah! And as this went on, the disciples got a little irked by it, miffed with this noise, this chaos. And the gospel tells us that the disciples rebuked the people. But you, Jesus, said, "Let the children come to me, and do not hinder them, for to such belongs the kingdom of heaven." To these children who are running around and making a mess, yes, the kingdom of heaven belongs to them. I wonder what it is. What is the qualification that these children have that make you say that heaven is for the little ones, for these little ones, the children? Perhaps one of those qualifications, if I may put it in that way, is the simplicity of children, the simplicity of a child. Children usually don't have complexes. As we grow older, we notice that we get a little bit more complicated. And one of the complexes that we have is, what will other people think about me? What will they say? Sometimes it's about, what will my classmates say? Or what will the people at work think about me if I dress like this, if I do that? Children don't really worry about people around them, what they're going to say. A few days ago, a friend of mine who has been learning how to play the violin for the last 3 years invited me to a concert that had been organized by his music school. It's a small setup, and the concert was on a small scale in a little gallery, art gallery, where the teachers had wanted their students to come up on stage and do their best, you know. There were students of different ages, I'd say some who were very young, some who were a bit older, and there were some who were, well, maybe in their 60s or 70s, but all of them going on stage and performing a short piece, some of them a minute, 2 minutes. There in front, amongst the spectators in the front row, there was this chubby little girl who from the minute go was fidgeting in her seat. She wouldn't do anything but fidget, and she would bend down and then stretch, and whenever the sopranos hit a high note, she would put her hands to both ears, tap her ears, and her parents were a little bit desperate, like, behave yourself, behave. Yes, in the beginning I found it funny, but after 1 hour of having this girl fidgeting, I felt a little bit like the disciples in today's gospel. I felt, why doesn't someone just get rid of her? Or can't her parents take care of her? I didn't know a few minutes later that she was going to be called on stage. And one of those presenting said, "Our youngest student is 6-year-old so-and-so." And everyone gave a loud round of applause. Now, 6-year-olds standing up in front of an audience. Wouldn't you have a complex? Well, this little girl didn't have a complex, because as soon as she stood up, she looked at mom and dad, smiled, and introduced herself. She said, "My name is so-and-so, and I have been studying in this school, and I'm going to sing a song for you called How Far I'll Go. It's taken from the movie Moana Sing Along. But before I start singing, I'd like to tell you a joke." The audience laughed all the more. A little child with such courage, not ashamed to stand before them. And the joke was a very simple joke, but people clapped. There was an applause for this little girl, simple, without any complexes, happy, confident because mom and dad were there. And I liked the song that she sang, How Far I'll Go, because here was this girl singing a song that somehow talks about heaven. These are some of the lyrics. "See the light as it shines on the sea? It's blinding, but no one knows how deep it goes. And it seems like it's calling out to me. So come find me and let me know what's beyond that line. Will I cross that line? And the line where the sky meets the sea, it calls me, and no one knows how far it goes. If the wind in my sail on the sea stays behind me, one day I'll know how far I'll go." It's beautiful words. You can check the lyrics, Googling them. How far I'll go. One day I'll know that I'll go to heaven. It's that place that I want to go. And you tell me, Jesus, that heaven is for those who become childlike, not childish. This little girl, when she was fidgeting around, was a bit childish, but she showed that childlike mentality that you want me to have when she went up on stage without any complexes and with the courage of knowing that her parents were there. I too can move around in my life knowing that you are by my side. But there are things that I need to be simple about, simple to want to grow, simple to know how far I'll go. Are there problems that you have? Are you happy today as you pray in these 10 minutes? Do you sometimes feel discouraged that you don't know how to pray? And if you've been listening to 10 Minutes with Jesus, this podcast, for some months, I'm sure you'll have some questions that you'd like to ask about spiritual life, about prayer. Do you feel a little bit ashamed to ask, or do you go ahead and ask? Who will you ask? Well, you can always ask a priest or a good friend, someone who knows their faith and lives their faith to the full. We all need to be guided. Have you ever thought of getting a spiritual director? You could check some of these Catholic websites. You could check the Opus Dei website and write to ask for a spiritual director. When we build a house, we always get an architect so it comes out well. St. Josemaria used to say, well, all the more reason that you need a director to help to build the castle of your sanctification, to build the castle of your holiness. Jesus, I want to be holy, and I'd like to be simple. like a little child, childlike, not childish, childlike, and to be simple, to ask the questions that I need to grow in my holiness, to build this castle, to say one day I'll know how far I'll go. I'll go to heaven. Today's a Saturday. It's the day of Our Lady, and we can finish this time of prayer with the words from that hymn, O Virgin fair, star of the sea. My dearest mother, pray for me. Pray for me to be simple, to be like a child. I thank you, my God, for the good resolutions, affections, and inspirations that you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask you for help to put them into effect. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.